Hey bestie, welcome back. Why is attitude important in business? Attitude is everything in business. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to wake up every day feeling it. We all have our days where we feel like we need a little bit of an attitude adjustment. That's just being human. And I'm very excited to share with you 5 killer attitudes that I have adopted that make every day a powerful day, no matter how it gets started. I'm Amy Walker, your biz bestie, and I help small business owners be able to create consistent, predictable sales through their organic marketing and their scalable sales strategies. A successful attitude isn't just something that is nice that you want to do. It will literally set the tone for every action you take, and it creates an environment where success can land. So think about it like the primer that you use when you're painting a room a bright, beautiful, brilliant color. If you don't do that, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of paint, it takes a lot of effort to get that end result that you're looking for. That is exactly what attitude is going to do. It's going to give you that surface, that place for all of your effort to land. So to kickstart this conversation, we're going to talk a little bit about the science behind attitude, but don't worry, I'm not going to nerd out too much. It'll be quick. Then I'm going to share with you my 5 success attitudes that have totally changed my success rates in business. And if you stay until the end, I'll even give you a bonus one. And the bonus one is the thing that actually helped me break 6 figures for the first time. So let's jump right into it. There is a cycle that you've probably seen before. It's called the tier cycle, where your thoughts lead to your emotions. Your emotions set the tone for your actions, and your actions determine your results. And then your results cause you to think certain thoughts, and you go through this cycle over and over again. So if you wake up in the morning and you think, nobody wants to buy from me, you feel bad. And then because you feel bad, you don't reach out and make your sales calls. Because you didn't make your sales calls, you didn't sell anything. Because you didn't sell anything, you think nobody wants to buy from me. And on and on and on it goes. Now, the coolest part about this tier cycle is that you can disrupt it at any point in time. So if we take that same cycle we were talking through, if I was feeling bad and instead I said, you know what, I'm going to dance to some really great music, I'm going to tell myself positive affirmations, like I'm going to write about the reasons why I'm feeling bad and burn those papers, I'm going to do some emotional cleanup, then I can change from feeling bad to feeling good. Then because I feel good, I make my sales calls. Because I make my sales calls and I feel good, now I close some deals. And because I close some deals, I'm like, wow, people do want to buy from me, which then makes me feel better, right? So I can disrupt it there, or I can disrupt it at the thought place. Any point in that cycle, you can create a disruption. But your attitude covers half of the cycle, your thoughts and your emotions. The cool thing about your brain and your ability to set the tone for attitude and belief is that your subconscious literally believes whatever you tell it. So if your mind is full of bad attitudes and negative thoughts, negative self-talk, that's what your subconscious believes. And so your subconscious is creating all of the decisions that you make, the people that you attract into your life, based on beliefs that you probably didn't even want to be there. So as we go through these 5 attitudes that are truly the difference makers for me, plus the bonus one, I want you to understand that they didn't all start out as true for me. When I first started making these attitude shifts, which is the thoughts and the emotions, I felt a little bit like liar, liar, pants on fire. That's not actually true. And it took a little bit of retraining my subconscious to really, truly believe and embrace these killer attitude shifts. So number 1 is possibility. I was always a little bit of an obstacle thinker growing up. Like I would see the problems, and I told my sister at one point, she called me a dream crusher, and I told her that I was not a dream crusher, I was just a realist. But in reality, I was a problem finder, not a possibility finder. So now, here's my mantra. When I start seeing lots of obstacles, oh, I can't do this because of this, I don't have time for this because of that, I can't hit my goal because of blah, blah, blah. So what I do is I say, Amy, don't tell me what you can do, tell me what you can. Because I want to know what is possible. I believe that all things are possible, but when we're looking at obstacles, the obstacle becomes the reality and all of the other possibilities fade into the background. So I want to bring the possibilities forward. So that question will help you to reframe. And what it does in the tier cycle is it adjusts the thoughts. So when you say, hey, wait a second, don't tell me what you can't do, tell me what you can. How could you make this work? How could you find time for this? How could you accomplish more? And then what will happen is it draws all of the possibilities closer and it pushes the obstacle a little bit into the background. The second powerhouse attitude adjustment is one simple word, yet. This is the potential attitude. So I know that today I am lacking some things. Okay, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I do not have all the answers. I do not have it all figured out yet. Do you see how great that is? I don't have a New York Times best-selling book yet. I don't have hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers yet. So this little word makes a huge impact in keeping us accountable for the possibility and staying in that space of possibility. When we assign ourselves a place value, our subconscious is like, okay, that's it. So if I say, oh, I only sold this many books last year, then my brain is like, oh, we only sell this many books every year. And that becomes the norm. Instead of when I say, I haven't sold 100,000 books yet, it's so easy to catch yourself in those little things and allow you to stay in that place of possibility. Super important. And it's kind of fun. It's also fun to catch with other people. When you catch someone else doing it, they're like, oh, I don't know how to. You just say, yet. You don't know how to do that yet. It's really fun. Third attitude that you're going to want to develop is positivity. A couple years ago, I was doing this youth activity with a bunch of kids from our church, and we had these little cards that they wrote down nice things about everyone, and somebody wrote down on mine that I was positive to a fault, which I thought was hilarious because I, growing up, was kind of negative. And secondly, the fact that somebody wrote something that was kind of negative on my positive paper just really made me laugh. But I would say I have grown into a very positive person. And the way that I do that is I have to shift that attitude. I am not positive all of the time. I tend to, like many high achievers, put a lot of pressure on myself, and I tend to really quickly go into stress and overwhelm. And I have to really quickly identify it and bring myself back to this place of being positive. So here's my mantra. You're welcome to borrow it. You're welcome to use it. I am grateful, happy, positive, and at the perfect place at the perfect time, having the perfect experiences for my perfect good. I know it's a lot of P's. I'll say it again. I'm grateful, happy, positive, and at the perfect place at the perfect time, having the perfect experiences for my perfect good. When I start to feel myself slipping into stress or overwhelm, or I don't have time to get all this done, it's not lining up, I'll just pause and I'll tell myself that, and I'll bring myself back to a place of gratitude. I am genuinely grateful. Even on my hard days, I'm not trying to keep my children alive in a war-torn country. Even on my hard days, there's food for my children to eat, right? Even on my hard days, I get to lie in bed next to the man that I have chosen to build a life with and know that he loves me and supports me even when I'm having one of my hard days. I am truly grateful for the life that I get to live. I choose to buy into the happy narrative. Do I feel happy 100% of the time? No. But telling myself that I am grateful and I'm happy, that helps me come at least to a place where it's I can coexist in happiness and sadness at the same time. Whereas when I'm just feeling sad, that's the only thing I have space for. So I invite happiness into the mix. Think about that Disney movie. Remember, what was it, where all the little characters were in her head? They all coexist at the same time. So I just invite happiness into the party more often. Attitude number 4 is acceptance. This one is a little challenging for me, and this is a newer adaptation in my world. In fact, I would say in the last couple of years have I only been okay with acceptance. Before, it was no, I will force the world and everyone in it to conform to my vision and where I'm going. And now I really am practicing acceptance. And so when I have something that I'm stressed about, I will say it's okay if X and it's okay if Y. So for example, right now, I am currently working to fill an event, and the numbers are growing, but they're not where I want them to be. And so I can say, you know what, it's okay if we have 150 people at our next event, and it's okay if we have 500 people register for our next event. It's okay if I have 10 ARC readers for my next book release. It's okay if I have 100 ARC readers for my next book release. Because the reality is, where you're at that you're dissatisfied with, you're already there, right? So it only goes up from here. So accepting where we're at takes away the negative energy around it, and it allows us to be able to move forward. This one I learned from a mentor of mine, Angela Bell, and it has been transformative. Next up is support. We get to have an attitude of support. And I know that one sounds funny. Like, we get having a positive attitude, we get some of these other ones. Support seems a little bit funny. I truly believe that support is an attitude, because it starts at the thought process and it starts around the emotions. So many people have this thought of, I have to do everything by myself, or nobody shows up to support me, or it doesn't matter how many times I ask, it never gets done right, so it's easier just to do it myself. We have this thought that then leads to an emotion of feeling abandoned, or maybe it started with a feeling of abandonment. Maybe somebody else did abandon us and leave us hanging and high and dry, and so we felt abandoned. And then we took results where we didn't let people help us, and then we took actions where we didn't let people help us, and then the result was nobody shows up for us, and then the belief is nobody shows up for me, right? So this totally is an attitude shift, the attitude of support. So here's what I say to myself. I am surrounded by love, support, and help. Allowing others to show up for me is a sign of wisdom and strength. I'll say it again. I am surrounded by love, support, and help. Allowing others to show up for me is a sign of wisdom and strength, instead of a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness to allow others to help and support you, but support is something that you will need to have if you want to grow a big and successful company. All right, there are the 5 tips. I want to hear from you in the comments. What was your favorite one? Go ahead and hit the like button, and then leave me a comment below to let the YouTube algorithm know that we're having some good conversations over here and want to invite more people to the party. I promised you a bonus tip, and I promised you the one that actually contributed to me breaking 6 figures for the first time, and it is an attitude of desire. I grew up in a household where it was like, be grateful for the things that you have. You can do anything that you want to do, but also you need to be really careful about how you do it and not take too many risks, and be happy where you're at. So there was this always feeling of like, if I had desires for more, that I wasn't being happy where I was at. And I want you to understand that wanting more is a divine quality. Let me say that again. Wanting more is a divine quality. The ability to dream, the ability to grow, the ability to achieve is what sets me apart from all of God's other creations. So desire for growth is divine. And I struggled for many years. I felt like I had 1 foot on the gas and 1 foot on the brakes in my business, because I had this false narrative in my mind that it was okay for me as a woman to be working for my family to get by, but once we got to the point where we were working to get ahead, that really that time should have been dedicated with my kids, because they're the top priority in my life. So every time we would start to get ahead, I would pull back. And then we would start to fall behind, and then I would push forward. And then we start to get ahead, and I would pull back and then push forward. And it was so hard on my family, and it was so hard on me. And when I just finally said, what if these dreams and desires that are in my heart are divine? What if they are placed there by God? What if me achieving is part of me learning and reaching my true potential? And what if all of it's good? And when I embraced that, that was a huge difference maker in me actually breaking through that 6-figure mark, and then going beyond that into the multi-6 and into the 7-figure range. So I hope that this has been helpful and that you've got some good insights and tips. If you haven't done it yet, come join our private Facebook group, Acquire. I would absolutely love to see you over there. So now that we answered the question, why is attitude important in business? The next video I recommend that you go check out is, what are the advantages of being a woman-owned business? I can't wait to see you over there.